online and via your IPTV app. For your club, your team, home and away. This is Non-League Connect Matchday Live.
Hello, welcome to Non-League Connect's pre-season show for the 2024-2025 season. On today's programme, we are very excited to bring you dedicated interviews. We'll also discuss the leagues that will cover this season and mention all the sides that they involve in Leicestershire. This is the best show and the only show that can give you an in-depth look at non-league football in Leicestershire.
This is Non-League Connect Matchday Live, bringing you the latest updates, interviews, results and live coverage. Your team, your club, across the county of Leicestershire. Matchday Live.
So we start with one of the biggest clubs in Leicestershire, Coalville Town. Now, to discuss Coalville Town this season, we must, of course, head over to Coalville Town last season, which ended in disappointment for Coalville Town as chairman Glyn Rennox, who had been involved with the club for 40 years, decided to step down as the chairman. The men's first team then had to resign from the step-free division, the Southern League Premier Central. In the weeks following, it was clear to see across social media and from people that you spoke to down the town that the news was a complete shock to the majority of fans. There were many that felt let down, and with little information to trust, a lot of fans felt left in the dark. Then, on the 24th of May, the club released a statement on their social media pages which said that Coalville Town Football Club will play in the United Counties League Division 1 this season. This means that the club has dropped down a total of 3 steps in the English step system. That is from step 3 to step 6 and 4 leagues down. Moving forward, though, now, as the club were keen to do so, they hosted a supporters meeting on the 12th of June to discuss plans for the upcoming season. The club have so far announced a new manager in the form of Ash Brown, and their captain for the upcoming campaign will be a former Ravens player, Cian Taylor, who left the club back in June 2023 and finds himself back at Coalville Town just a year later in circumstances I'm sure he didn't expect. The new Ravens manager is a former player, Ash Brown. Ash is joined by coaches Jason Weafer and David Clay. Ash has made over 500 appearances for the Ravens and was captain when the team played Whitley Bay in the 2011 FA Vars final at Wembley Stadium. He also captained the side when they won the Midlands Alliance League title in 2011. Weafer is also an ex-Raven, having featured for the club in the Midlands Alliance in the early 2000s, whilst Clay is a vastly experienced coach with good local knowledge, having previously managed Shepshire Dynamo. We start with an interview with Jason Weafer, who is the assistant coach at Coalville Town. I caught up with him back in late June, so this was pre the new coaching team choosing their squads for the upcoming campaign and pre the pre-season friendlies taking place. And everything in this interview is very much fresh and new. Of course, it's been about 2 weeks, I think, since you're appointed.
It has, yeah.
How have those 2 weeks been?
Busy. Absolutely really busy, but exciting. Yeah. We put an advert out for trials at the club, which we had to put a secondary advert out because of due to the demand in people coming to the sessions. We had to then ask them to send the CVs in, and we then ascertained as to who kind of could play at the level and invite them to training. But yeah, it's been a hectic 2 weeks, but looking forward to the next few weeks and getting into the season.
Great stuff. I mean, obviously you're with Ash and David as well, backing you up, and I mean, just looking at the turnout today, like you just mentioned, I mean, there's been an immense amount of people. How do you narrow that down ready for like season time? How does that process work?
Yeah, again, it's who impresses. Hence why, like I say, we have got a lot of people here, but we've already shaved some people off from here. So over the next kind of 2-3 weeks until we get to the first game against Dunton and Broughton in the friendly game, we've got to kind of manage to kind of get these down to 30, then 25, and have that squad so we can take 2 teams to Dunton and then ready for the Gresley game the week after. It does vary. See, we've got lads who have played at step 4, step 5, step 6. Some lads who have not even played men's football. So again, we want to give everybody the opportunity to show us what they can do. But also at the same time, we can't really be pandering to people's whims, and if they haven't got it, then we will unfortunately have to let them go. I say unfortunately, but it's just the nature of the job. We've got a job to do, and we need to get that squad ready for the first game against Southall.
Yeah, and it's difficult enough with the amount of people, players you've had coming and stuff. So let's talk about you and your experience. Obviously, 2 years as a player at the club.
Yep.
And we'll speak to Ash later, and he's obviously had a few years here as well. What does that bring? Experience-wise, having played here,
yep.
What can you draw from that to bring into the season ahead?
Yeah, I think what I do in my football career is I play centre midfield all my life, and it's about passion for me. It's about intensity, about passion, and it's what I will bring to the club. As also as well, I've been around football, men's football and kids football for a while now. So it's just a case of using that and utilising. I coached at Peterborough United for a bit as well. So it's about bringing that kind of intensity, bringing that passion to the club, and enjoyment as well. Because as well as the hard work, you've got to have some enjoyment. You've got to enjoy your football. You've got to play with a smile on your face, and this is what hopefully Ash and I can bring to the club.
Go straight back up, because I know sometimes when you voluntarily relegate, you can't.
Yeah, that's the case. We can't. In the first year we can't, but we still doesn't mean to say we're not going to win the league.
Oh no, of course not.
Our ambition, our objective is to finish as high as possible. So if that means challenging in the top 3, top 6, that's what we mean. That's what we want to do, because that then stands in good stead for the next season. Exciting football, right? Exciting football with structure. Okay, so we're going to have structure, we're going to have exciting football, we're going to keep the ball, we're going to be a team that's going to keep the ball, we're going to keep the team that's going to make good decisions and basically entertain the crowd. That's what it's all about. We are very much reliant on yourself. I know you're a supporter. There's a lot of supporters in there. We're now no longer on just a one person. We're now a community club, and we're reliant on you guys to back us and to give us that support. And we will work as hard as we can. We just hope that we get the backing of the fans. And there's going to be some times where it's not going to be so great and the results are not going to go our way, but we want the fans to stick with us. Again, it's a community club, it's Coalville Town, it's your team as well as Ash's and mine, it's your team as well, so, and that's what we want. You boys get behind us and you'll be like another 12th man. There's definitely a buzz. We've got that buzz and we've got to kind of keep riding that wave and keep that buzz going. So, and which is what we'll do. So me and Ash will work as hard as we can. We'll ask the players to work as hard as we are, and hopefully then it will prove on the pitch and get some good results.
Yeah. Last one. If you had to, would you go back and play again?
Do you know what? Me and Ash we walked into the club, and the day it got announced that we were going into Step 6 and into the UCL1, we came and they were already cutting the grass on the pitch, and we were like, oh, wow, what would give, like, turn the clock back, like, I was like, probably 30 years now, and be 21 again and play out there and do this. Listen, we love what we do, but we also kind of like want to pass on what we've done onto these guys and be successful and let them enjoy the football.
I mean, a 3G pitch as well, which is amazing.
The facilities are unbelievable. I've just been talking to one of the other coaches, Mark Schultz, who uses his facilities, and it's second to none. Not only do we get to train on this, but we get to go and play on that as well. So it's unbelievable, and I just hope the boys appreciate it, which I know they will do. We'll make sure of that.
There you go, Jason Weafer there, assistant coach at Coalville Town. Since then, Coalville have played 5 pre-season friendly games, winning 3 and losing 2. They have signed multiple players, something we will chat about another time. On another note, Coalville will also face Selston FC in the Sports Grand Development Knockout Cup preliminary round. These matches are due to take place between the 2nd and 8th of September. Moving on now to another one of our featured teams that we are taking a bigger dive into on this pre-season show, our Ellistown Football Club. Ellistown are newly managed by Lee Petch and Lee Walkinshaw. After having a successful start to the 2023-24 campaign, Ellistown ended up finishing 5th in the table, a finishing position many feel that they could have improved on based on the way that they started this season. I travelled over to Ellistown to catch up with a good friend, Andrew Grout, who is his secretary at Ellistown and has been for 9 years now. Right, Mr. Grout.
H.
Yeah. We sit here in the sun. It's lovely. Nice Pre-season, and the grass is looking good. Pitch is looking good.
It is.
You know, the ground's looking smart.
It is.
Ready for a new year.
It is.
First of all, since last season, new management team.
Yep.
I've come in, the 2 Lees.
Yeah.
I'm aware. Tell us a bit about them, and because I'm fairly sure it was pretty close, wasn't it, in terms of getting a new team in ready for the new season?
Yeah. So it's back in the last season. So last season we had our best year for nearly 20 years. Mm-hmm. Finished 5th in the league.
Yeah.
But with respect to our manager at the time, he couldn't commit to put in the effort in to get us going next season. So we had to find a new management team. And luckily for us, there's a team just outside Nuneaton called Southam United, and they play in the Hellenic League, which is, if you know your geography, you go down to Bristol and Gloucester and all that kind of stuff. And they thought they'd have a go closer to home. So when we advertised, they came forward, and we just couldn't believe our luck. They're a professional management team, Patch and Boots we call them. They've got a Step 6 mentality for managing Step 6 clubs. They've got a good connection with academies and youth and the local players. So they've come in and they basically told us that we're going for promotion, but you've got to act like a promotion team on the pitch and off the pitch. So we've worked hard during the close season. You know, people think football clubs shut down for 6 weeks. They don't.
No.
You know, we've been working hard to get new sponsorship coming in, which we've got. And these guys are going to bringing the team in now. So
Brilliant.
The trials are going well. We've got the right amount of talent coming in.
Yeah.
So the manager's got a difficult choice to sign a squad of about between 15 and 20 players. So there'll be some disappointed players, but we believe there'll be the quality to take us from 5th to 1st.
Trials. I've been down to Coalville already this season, and I've watched them do the trials, and I've seen the amount of players that some teams can get.
Yeah.
For the managers, they're the ones that kind of narrow the squads down, aren't they?
Yeah. So it's
how many of you had come in and had to narrow down?
It's interesting you said Coalville, because we named our trial dates first.
Yeah.
Coalville followed with exactly the same date as ours.
Right.
So we were worried that Coalville would take all the players, and they didn't. So we had 30 players down here, a mix of locals, some local new players, some players from last season, and some players that Patch and Boots know already. So that was for us. That was a nervous hour or so. The players turned up. From that night we signed 5. So we had a third session yesterday, and we had 25 turn up. Oh, yeah. So already the managers are shaping the numbers. So we would love to. I think 70 turned up for Coalville on their first trial night. We would love 70, but we're happy with what we've got.
Yeah.
So we've got a further trial night on Thursday this week, and again we'll put it out on social media. We'll get guys who've returned from holiday who'll come down and try it out. We'll get the regulars coming back, and we'll get some surprises. And what I mean by that, you'll just get people just turn up without telling you.
Yeah.
So we had 2 players who played in Cameroon last year.
Oh wow!
Who were living in Leicestershire, and they asked, "Can we come for a trial?" Blimey. So we said, "Yeah, come. Anyone's welcome to come down. Put your boots on, have a try."
Mm-hmm.
And Definitely. Then I've said to the management team that we need to get the squad ready for when I go on holiday, because I want a 2-week break with no football.
That's fair enough.
I won't get it.
No.
But we've got the squad. We've got the squad to sign. We've done the admin for the squad, and it's looking really, really strong for this league.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about having a lot of players come down to trials and stuff. What's the squad limit for the league this year? Is it same as last year?
There is no squad limit.
No squad limit.
No,
so you could have kind of whatever you need.
We've got to sign 15 players.
Okay, that's minimum then.
Yep, before 2 weeks before the end of the season. 2 weeks before the start of the season, you need 15 signed.
Yeah.
So I'm on holiday during that.
So that's why you want to get it.
Yeah. But leagues, teams can sign as many players as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find during the season when clubs with higher turnover, which normally clubs are not doing too good.
Yeah.
Players will turn up for a game, they lose 4-0, and then they won't come again. So someone else comes in next week. Mm-hmm. Stays for 2 games, don't like it, and then you get some teams who register 60, 70 players in the senior league. 1 year we registered 110.
Wow.
But this year, we know we've got a core squad. We'll lose 1 or 2 players like you naturally do, and we'll gain 1 or 2 players like you naturally do. Players with work commitments, personal commitments, but we're sitting here, we're happy. We're doing the right things. So for us playing Coalville for Ellistown, it's a major fixture, regardless what league they're in. It's a major fixture for us. It's a massive local derby. It's a chance for the new Coalville to come to play 90 minutes against a Step 7 club. I know Coalville are playing on the Friday night, so they've got a game on Friday against Gresley.
Rovers.
So we've been told that they'll bring down a mixed squad, which is still a quality squad, and will contain some first teamers. We'll be raring to go because for us it'll be our first game. So it'd be interesting to see what tactics the managers decide to put out there, and we know we're going to use the full set of squad. So for local players, it's a chance to play against the Coalville, and we're hoping that if it goes well, it'll be a yearly fixture.
Of course, I mean, arranging pre-season friendlies not as easy as you think. It's not a case of just calling up a club nearby and going, "Can you play this date?" Because you have to put messages out on social media. You have to seek a club to actually arrange to have a fixture. It's not simple, is it?
Yeah, and the thing is, this is probably a good example of how well we progressed. Last year, arranging friendlies was a nightmare.
Yeah,
we got our friendlies organised early on in the season, and then circumstances said we had to cancel all of them.
Yeah.
So we upset a few clubs along the way. This season, we've got them in, we've locked them down, everything's fine, the management team know what they've got to prepare for, and for us, it's just a case of, because we can offer a home ground on 2 pitches, clubs will say we'll play you because they want to protect their pitches. So for us, it really gives us a head start. We put I think we put the message out there with the available dates. And there was I think it took us about 4 days to fill them.
That's great.
So, and also it's important with pre-season friendlies is you get the right quality friendly.
That's a good point.
The Coalville game, ideally we would have played them probably 2-3 games into our schedule, so the players are fit, up and running, got used to each other. But you can't turn down the Coalville first, regardless when you play them. So we've looked at that. And then the remaining games are against teams in our level, so to speak.
So
that, again, and there's no pressure on results.
No.
First year, I can remember, I'm not worried about the results in pre-season friendly, because last year we went, I think we played something like 11 pre-season friendlies, won 9, drew 1, lost 1, went into the season buzzing, and we still finished 5th.
Yeah.
Year before we lost most of our pre-season friendlies, and we finished near enough bottom. So
it's a long season.
So for us, and I say the management team have got that, that ethos. So look, pre-season friendlies, you get minutes in your legs.
Yeah.
If you win, it's nice at the end of the day. But if you don't win, but the players are fitter, then all well and good.
Yeah, pretty young turnout to the trials, or is it a mix of ages? What we got?
We got some quality.
Yeah.
We got some local legends playing for us. So I'll mention one, Chris Sykes, local legend and non-league football. So we've got a mix for all the different age ranges.
Yeah.
So we've got you can experience with Chris, for example. You got some guys in midfield who have been there, seen it, and done it. Sharpshooters up front. Again, I've got a fantastic goal scoring record. Coupled with some academy players and some youth who would just bring legs and positivity.
Yeah, is anybody coming up from kind of... I know some clubs have the opportunity to have that pathway, don't they, where they go from under 18s. I know Coalville have had, I imagine, a lot of help from that, from restarting their squad now, of players coming up from their younger teams.
Yeah. So
what's that looking like for the future, and not just necessarily now, but going forward?
Yeah, so for us, unfortunately our under-17s are folded, so we've only got one team here at the moment. So if you look at Hever, Barwell, Ingalls, Coalville, they've got the pathways in.
Yeah.
So we haven't, and respect to Hever, who put a reserve side into the senior league this year. That's the way to do it. So what we have to do in terms of that, one of our managers wants his own academy in Nuneaton. Right. So, and it's a good quality academy. So we'll dip into that for players if required, and we'll pick up local talent. You'll find if you start the season well, people want to play for you.
Moving on to the grounds and stuff. Grass is looking healthy, and the pitch is looking healthy. Does this have to get completely wiped out and remarked, or do the lines stay in?
No. Well, if you lose the lines, it's about 300 quid to put them back in again.
Well, I know
so,
how difficult that is.
Yeah. So luckily we've got the grant from Football Foundation to maintain the 2 pitches
for 4 years.
That's a massive job.
That's
Maintaining the grounds.
And they were down yesterday doing the weeding on both our pitches.
Right.
So what happens is our groundsman and chairman will be down probably Wednesday, Thursday to cut it. So it's because we've been given dimensions by a management team of how long the grass should be.
Have you really?
Yep. That's how professional we're going.
There you go. Well, I mean, you'd rather have that than, I suppose, you know.
Yeah. So if you look at it today, it's actually too long, so it'll be cut tomorrow, ready for Thursday. Both pitches, that is. And the chairman and the groundsman will be down, not just looking after the grass,
no,
just maintaining the stadium as well.
I've got to mention, you just said about who's coming down to cut the pitch. It's not a groundskeeper necessarily. It's the chairman and...
It's the chairman and
that's
a volunteer.
Local football.
Yeah, that is local. Yeah. So,
you won't see Todd, really.
Well, you might see Todd Bowley cutting the grass in 10 years if it continues like he is.
Yeah,
but that's grassroots football. It's and our committee love what they're doing, and as you can find, it's a nice peaceful evening, just to chill. So
it is lovely.
Yeah, chairman comes down. We've got him his Ferrari lawnmower, so he goes up and down, and grass gets cut very quickly, and then Banner's brother will come and mark the lines if necessary. Do any DIY work that's required. So putting up the sponsorship boards, I'll do that. And we've got FC Monday, who are playing the back pitch. They'll come and maintain the back pitch for us. So it's all a bit of a kind of small community effort.
Yeah, definitely. Moving forward to the actual season that's coming up. After last year, we spoke to you a lot, and obviously the aim was get as high as you can. Second, wasn't it? That was the aim.
Yeah.
Obviously, it works different in every league in terms of who can go up, whether your ground's okay to go up or not, whether you can be accepted. Is it first place only, with playoffs, whatever? So looking forward to this season, what's been discussed about the aim. You mentioned then that they've come in, the new management team, and said, we want to go up.
Yeah.
But in terms of kind of everything meeting together to achieve that, having the players on the pitch, coaching staff, what has to happen meanwhile?
Right. So we to get out this league is very, very hard.
Yeah, it does seem.
And you have to win it. And there's some good teams in it this year.
Yeah.
So our aim is always, I think with most football clubs, and we've been through it as well. If you can't aim to win it, then what's the point of being in it, so to speak? So our aim is always to get a team out there to go for the title or challenge for the title, so to speak. That's not a guarantee that we're going to do it.
No.
We could lose our first game 4-0. You don't know.
Yeah.
But behind that, it's important that you've got the infrastructure to support the guys on the pitch, and we've got it this year. We know we've got work to do to get the ground ready for when the FA come visiting in January, but that work that we can do, and we will do it, and say Boots and Petrol will give it its best shot in terms of getting us up there this year. So every year, we do it every year. We all cross our fingers and hope this is going to be our year.
Yeah.
Normally with Ellistown, you'll find out about 3:10 in the first game of the season when we go 2-0 down. That's not going to be your year. But
no, you never know.
This time last year, after 9 games, we were top of the league.
Yeah, I can remember.
We were flying, unbelievable for us.
Yeah.
But we got pegged back, so that's a learning curve for the club. It's not, basically not to break under pressure. And say the management team are coming from step 6, and they've managed a team in step 6 to quite a decent league position.
Yeah.
So they know how to do it.
And they want to do it as well.
And they want to do it.
Even in a way, it's kind of good that they want to do it, even if it's selfishly.
Yeah.
Because there's more of a drive there to go and
they're fully
improve.
They're fully. It's not just the management team; it's the families as well.
Yeah.
So they come as a package, and they've been fantastic with the admin, getting the squad together. They've even, the manager came down this afternoon and donated a table for the new chairman's office or the manager's office.
Oh, yeah.
They've opened doors to sponsors. We've managed to sell all our sponsorship. Namely, for the player sponsorship, we've sold all of them so far.
Wow, that's good. I saw on the announcements of signing players £50 sponsorship.
That's it.
And stuff. So that's good that's been sorted.
And that brings in vital income.
It does.
And off the back of that, companies want to go a little step further. So they might want to sponsor a player and do a board.
Yeah.
Or a match day
there's
sponsorship.
plenty of room for...
Well, plenty of space.
Yeah.
So and for us, where we've gone from just getting the team out and just survive to say, right, okay, we're getting all these sponsors coming in.
Yeah.
Which one do we turn down?
Yeah.
It's a big change, and that brings pressure to succeed on the committee. But it's a different type of pressure now, where it was, have we got a club, or what we're going to do? To right, okay, let's enjoy this year, and let's do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
So
and then
when-
next
so,
year you
yeah.
can, because like you mentioned a minute ago, during the off season, where there isn't an off season, a lot more changes at this level than it does even at step 2, step 1. As you go down, more and more has to change.
Yeah.
Completely, whole squads, managers.
Yeah. Well,
Things like that, don't
and a
they?
good example is the Coalville factor.
Yeah.
It
It does get Keaton brought up, but it is a very good example.
Coalville factor.
I know. I've just seen something about Loughborough Dynamo will have been accepted into
Dig one.
Division 1.
Yeah.
Which is, and you get different reactions to it. Some people say it's not fair because obviously they might have a bigger opportunity to do this, do that. Some people say, "Oh, I'm glad they're back on the feet."
And it's a bit of both, to be
Yeah.
fair. So
Yeah, it's both ways.
use Coalville as a good example. When they was flying in step 3, for our players, the dream was, I can go and play for Coalville.
Yeah.
And to be fair, as a club, it was our job to get them there. Yeah. So Coalville could then look at local talent.
Kind of embracing being the stepping stone.
Yes,
Almost.
yeah. They're the club you want to aspire to. And we've got good relationships with Coalville.
Yeah.
And for the odd one or two, there's a big step in class between step 3 and step
There is,
7.
yeah.
But there was a player last year who we sent down to Coalville to see if they're interested, and because it's our job to do that. This year, they're only a league above us, so we're more concerned about Coalville kind of coming and taking our players. But that's a challenge for. It's not just us. You've got Hever, Ingalls, Barwell,
You have.
and so on. It's challenges for us to make sure the players stay. But on the flip side, this area needs a strong Coalville football team.
Yeah.
They've got a strong youth set up, and we need a strong first team. And we do wish them well in the UCL Div 1.
Yeah.
But can they leave our players alone, please?
Yeah. There you go. Wrote some names down of some signings so far.
Yeah.
Just to speak about them. Charlie Watson and Liam Watts. I'm assuming they're brothers.
I'm assuming so too.
So that's good.
I just signed them.
Well, I mean.
Yeah. I think one's a striker. They come from local football.
Yeah. So
they-
they know the stuff.
Yeah, they know the stuff. And I think they've been like most of our players have been schooled at Nuneaton Bar, and
Oh right. Yeah.
so they've come through that side. We've got guy Sam Aldridge who's played step 4, step 5 last year. So he's signed. So all the players again have contacted. The manager's got a nice big black book.
Yeah.
They can see what we're about. They've embraced what we're trying to do, and say good luck to them.
Well, definitely. A couple of other players we've got: Jack Bonnell, Sam Oldhouse, Harry Fairbrother, and Finn Chaplin. So already, I saw the list of tweets come up.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You don't normally see as many come in that soon almost.
No, well, the thing is
So it's getting a move on, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and again, that's credit to our managers.
Yeah.
They've come in and made us more professional. So our followers on social media have basically trebled, quadrupled,
Yeah.
and interesting. Last year we'll put something out on social media, and basically we'll get trolled by about 3 or 4 clubs.
Of course.
Now it's different where we're getting support. And I say again, the players that have come in, the ones you just mentioned, they've played at this level and a level higher. They like the football that the managers play.
Yeah.
Which is in effect pass and move. So they're good. They're technically the good players, and they're a mix of say young. I think Sam's a little bit older, so he's experienced. And yes, they're enjoying it. And also we've got our local hero coming back, Finn Chaplin.
You have.
Yeah, and Chris Sykes. Otherwise he'll have a go at me if I mention his name. So obviously Finn Chaplin, he's been in and out the team, and Ashby, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's been in around these clubs for a number of years, and I think for the first time he's going to get managed, and he's going to get the time invested in him
That's
from a football club, so he can develop. And we've seen him just the trials that we've had here. We've seen his confidence grow, and I think that the managers can spot the potential there.
Yeah.
And I think for Finn, it's a big season because he can now step up. He'll get game time, and he'll realise their potential. So
that's what you're here for.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck to him. Right. So my name's Andy Grout. I'm secretary for Ellistown Football Club, and I'm also the press officer, welfare officer, gateman, and everything else that goes with it. And I'm also a member of County FA. I'm on council at County FA, while we're developing football locally. So I've been here it's been my 9th year at Ellistown. I think 7 years.
It's impressive.
7 of those have been secretary. 6 of those seasons have been losing seasons. so kind of hard skinned. But we've had to, and it goes for all the committee. We've had to work hard to turn those losing years into good years. We've had to work hard off the pitch to structurally get us ready to be successful on the pitch, because you can't be successful on the pitch and not successful off the pitch.
No.
And we worked hard to bring the two in line.
Yeah, I suppose after 9 years, when a new challenge comes up, even though you might not have faced it before, you've still got that backbone from having been in the game for 9 years.
Yeah, it was,
and you can draw from different things, can't you?
Yeah. It was interesting last year because, like I said, we went top of the league early on after 9 games, and we thought, well, we're top of the league. That's what we've been aiming for. But when you get to the top of the league, you think, this is new area for us.
Yeah, staying at the top of the league is almost harder than actually getting there.
And we got absolutely battered because you become a target for clubs. People were playing us. It was like a cup final when I was playing us. So we got trolled on social media. We had some other instances that we weren't prepared for.
Yeah.
So we actually worked harder off the pitch last year when we were successful than what we did the year before when we was losing every other game. And I think we've learnt a lot from last year, ready for this year, because if, and I hope we do, we go top of the league again, and we start well, then we know how to stay there, how to be able off the field on the field. Yeah. But say we learnt it was hard last year, but it is what it is. If you want to be successful, then sometimes you've got to work twice as hard.
Yeah, and you have to sacrifice a lot to give the hours to do this, don't you, as well?
Yeah.
How many hours a week or something do you genuinely give to, you don't have to say specifically, but I can imagine it's a lot to do.
Yeah,
to keep everything going.
Yeah, for me, it's and there's other people in the club who put a lot more hours in than me. So basically, my weekends are football related, and one night in a week is football related, where I'll try and resolve every email or every contact, or make sure the managers are happy. But during the day, as anyone knows, the WhatsApp
it does. Yeah,
the WhatsApp starts going, and you need answers. The managers need answers to questions.
Yeah.
So it's you do it for the love of the game.
You love it, don't you? So
we all love football. But if you did do a timesheet of the hours that you put in, and normally, to be fair, and this is important, the families come second at times. So you need a strong family behind you, and we've all got that at this football club. We've got strong families. My missus does complain a lot, but she 9
years.
9 years. I've been married a bit more than that. So and to be fair, she's got a valid point, but she knows where my heart is, and it's the same. It's the same for all of us. And so when Boots and Petch turned up with their wives and family, and said, right, we come as a package. We think that's fantastic, because we can share the workload, we can share the ideas.
Yeah, because the game affects everybody. Players' families on the pitch, staff's players.
Yeah. So and that's
it goes deep.
It goes deep because also we're working at making this club a mental health friendly football club.
Yeah.
So we're working with the FA and the local council
and stuff like this. Football is the sport.
Exactly.
General.
Yeah.
A club is one of the best ways to do that. To offer young people or anybody a volunteering role or a role that they can get into. That's
what we want to be. We want to be a club that serves the community.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to Coalville because they do it really, really well.
Well, Sean Corpin's inclusive team down there.
Oh yeah,
that's a good example.
And Wayne and co, they do a fantastic job. And we want to do something similar for Ellistown. So we're working with County FA to put in the mental health friendly club, which means, you know, look at tonight, it's a lovely night, free open space. If people want to come down and just chill, then they can.
Yeah.
You know, but to do that, you've got to be trained. To go training, you need to put the time in to get the training.
Yeah.
Some of that training is during work time, so you've got to find flexibility there. But when it comes off, it's you know, it's good. And also, you know, we for this is the important side of things from a player's point of view. You know, they're sometimes we're the only people they see which is disconnected from the day lives.
Yeah.
So we don't know if they're having issues. They probably want someone to talk to, and they may talk to us, but we haven't been trained in how to spot the signs or how to deal with things. So suddenly, all of a sudden, you become the kind of their best mate, and sometimes the problem over here is kind of copied over here.
Yeah.
So it's how to deal with those that we're getting the right support for. So we can support, you know, the players and the families and so on.
Yeah. Well, Premier League players, that's the full-time job, but for the lads at this level, they've got the full-time jobs, and then they've got this,
and all the pressures that go with it.
Yeah.
And it's the same for the volunteers as well. You know, my chairman, he's running his pub at the moment. He's really busy, obviously, because of the England game. And he can't. You know, he just said today, "Apologies, lads, I can't come down.
No.
I'm looking after the pub." And we went, "Yeah, fine. That's more important." Sometimes there are more important things in football.
Yeah.
I think Shankly got that wrong.
And speaking of football, the England game is very soon, so we'll call that an interview. I'll shake your
Cheers,
hand
mate.
on camera.
Cheers, H.
Mate,
I'll take you out to that back page.
of course.
Online and via your IPTV app. For your club, your team, home and away. This is Non-League Connect, Matchday Live.
Welcome back, and thank you for choosing again to listen to our Non-League Connect pre-season show for the 2024-25 season. Massive credit to both Jason Weafer and Andrew Grout there for speaking to us and agreeing to do an interview. Okay, so before we head on and listen to our interview with Ash Brown towards the end of the show, we need to talk about all of the football clubs that we're covering here on Non-League Connect this season. Now, that is every single non-league footballing side in Leicestershire. So let's start with step 3, shall we? That is the Southern League Premier Central. We are covering just 2 sides in that league this season. That will be Barwell Football Club and Harborough Town. In step 4, we'll be covering teams such as Anstey Nomads, Hinckley Leicester Road, Quorn, Shepshire Dynamo and Loughborough Students. As we approach step 5, we encounter sides such as Ashby Ivanhoe, Melton Town in the United Counties League Premier Division North Table. In the Premier Division South Table, we come across Leicester Nirvana, Ellistown Park, Lutterworth Town and Hinckley AFC as well. In the United Counties League Division 1, still at step 5, we are covering Holwell Sports, Ashfordby and of course Coalville Town Football Club. On to step 6, where we'll cover teams like Hever St John's, Ingalls and Hinckley as well. We've also got Alexton and New Parks, Birstall United, Kirby Muxloe, Leicester St Andrews, Lutterworth Athletic and finally Saffron Dynamo. All those sides will play in the Midlands Football League Division 1. Finally, at step 7, just one league that we are covering, that is the Leicestershire Senior League, where every team is in Leicestershire, so we will bring you all the updates and the fixtures in that league table throughout the season as well. Teams like Ellistown, Sileby Town, Barrowtown and Havant are all in the Leicestershire Senior League. So, all our leagues covered, some in-depth interviews with coaches and volunteers on today's show. We've got one more left with Ash Brown. Hopefully you're enjoying. The best way, of course, to stay up to date is to go and watch these games in person. But also, if you can't do that, maybe a busy one weekend, then you can always tune in to Non-League Connect. It's nonleagueconnect.live on any internet browser. Now, let's hear from Coalville Town's new manager, who they appointed back in early June. This is an interview with Ash Brown. What are you thinking so far with what's on display?
I like what I'm seeing tonight. The standard's good. It's lively, it's sharp, it's fast. Everyone, is keen to impress. We've made it clear that we've got to cut down on some of the numbers that are here tonight. So it kind of puts people under a little bit of pressure to get themselves up to speed as quickly as possible. We appreciate that some of them have just been on the holidays or coming back from injuries and things like that, but we're in a situation where we need to hit the ground running. We've not got a team. We're not starting from a good base of having a squad from last season. It's all from fresh, all from scratch, so we know time is not something we've got a lot of.
I know the only player I think publicly that's been signed on is Kean Taylor.
There's a couple of other lads that we've gone to, that we know, that we worked with last year, that we can trust and rely on, that have said that they're going to come on board, and we're keeping a pretty open mind at the minute because we want to get the best that we can get in through the door. Pre-season's a bit of a merry-go-round. People will say they're staying and then they'll disappear, and you'll never see them again and stuff like that. So it's my first as a manager. It's my first pre-season. Dipped my toe in the water in management at the back end of last season, and so it's all new. It's an interesting situation to watch. It's kind of a unique situation. I wouldn't imagine there's too many teams starting from scratch like we are, so it's exciting. It's good to be a part of it, and we're all really focused as a group. The coaches, everyone connected to the club. Everyone's really focused on putting the club back on the map.
How early on did you know that you were going to be able to come and be part of this for the upcoming season?
Obviously the news broke about Glyn standing down and pulling the team out of the league. I had a couple of conversations with people on the Saturday, so I kind of had an inkling there and then that it would be me and that I'd be coming in, and it obviously took about a week and just over a week before the news became official when we got that place back in the league. There was a lot of hard work that went on behind the scenes with Steve and Wayne and a few other guys within the club that were supporting and helping get that over the line. It was a stressful week for those guys. So I was kind of just sat there waiting on the back burner, waiting for the news to come out, kind of until it all came out. I was quite stressed because it's such a big thing for me to come back. But so we'd already, before it even came about, we'd already started to put plans into place. I spoke to Weafer and Dave about coming over with me. They jumped at the opportunity, and then it's all kind of snowballed from there. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks, but. From just looking at what we've got here tonight, 40 lads that all want to come and be a part of it now. We've got the difficult job of wheedling down the numbers, which is going to be it's a bit like the X Factor at the minute.
Having the 3G pitch and the facilities, with respect to Jason about, I mean, is it a complete rebuild, or is it just the fact that you've got to put a squad together? How are you viewing it?
Starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Starting from scratch. We didn't have. Every player that was with the club has moved on and gone on to bigger and better things, or taken a sideways step, and we wish them all the best. The lads that were part of the squad, they've been here for a number of years, so they're all well thought of, and everyone within the club wishes them well. But it's a new project. It's an opportunity for a lot of people, myself included. I obviously stand in good, in good regard at this club, but I'm not here for sentimental purposes. I'm here to now really prove that on the management side of things with the team around me that we can do well. I mean, I feel like a bit of an imposter at the minute, because it's, for me, it will be, and it, probably always will be, it's Glyn's club and Steve-O's the main man. I feel like I'm standing in his shoes at the minute, but he's moved on. I was sad when Glyn decided to make the change, because I'm so close to Steve over the footballing times that we've spent together on and off the pitch. I played with him and for him, and if anything now it's a case of they love the club. Glyn and Adam love the club now. What can we do to put Coalville back on? Everyone's going to be looking from the outside, looking what's going on here. We know that, so what we've got to do now is get a team that the town can be proud of. We've got an amazing fan base. We're acutely aware of what they want to, what they expect and what they want to see, and we plan to deliver that. So it's exciting. Yeah, I mean, there's 40 lads here tonight. There's a few more that are still on holiday, struggling with injuries that we've not managed to get out on the pitch tonight. So I've told the lads at the start of the session that we've got to cut these numbers, and we will do that. Ruthless is one word, challenging's the other word. There's a lot of good lads out here tonight, and we'll probably miss somebody or get it wrong somewhere on the lines, but as long as we get that squad together, that's all that matters. Yeah, I mean, it seems an early start to me. For me, the football season starts in August, so we're starting early. We're obviously in a situation where we've kind of come to it a little bit late, and we've got a lot of work to do. Most teams that are in pre-season now, they've already got a core of 13, 14 lads and are looking to move bring a few in and move a few along. We started with nothing, so we know it's going to be difficult. but what we've got, as you can see tonight, there's loads of lads, loads of good players, and we've just got to try and work out which ones are the ones to take forward. You just want to see a little spark from somebody, a bit of communication, just something a little bit out of the ordinary. They're all good lads. It's really difficult. We cut the numbers down from last week to tonight by about 15, and that was a challenge in itself. So we're just looking for lads with the right attitude, lads that we know we can rely on and stuff like that. So over this week, obviously we've had a bit of a disruption tonight with the lad getting injured, which is a shame because he was training really well. But over the next week or so, we'll try and start talking to people and try and get to know them a little bit better, and kind of suss out where people are and their circumstances. Can we rely on them and stuff like that. So I've been in enough changing rooms to know that there's lads that will let us down and be unreliable, and lads that you can't trust. So we want to try and minimise the risk there. So we're in a privileged position though, because lads want to come along and be a part of this. So it's it's an exciting time.
Yeah, Keane Taylor's captain, as far as I'm concerned, isn't he? So what's he going to bring on? He was here before, and then he went to Weafer and did a good job there. So what's...
Yeah, I mean, Keane was probably the first person I thought of, to be honest, because I knew of his connection with the club. I knew that he was obviously a good player, and that he'd had a bit of a, he'd had a good period here, and then he kind of fell out of contention, and he went on to Heather and had a really good season. So he was the first person I thought of, and when we met him the other week, we didn't even have to sell it to him. He just wants to be here. To somebody like that, you plonk him on the pitch, and you know that he'll lead by example, and the lads will buy into that as well, and that's what we've got to. It means something to him in the same way it means something to me. Everyone's going to be aware of the responsibility. So, we're looking for lads that are going to come in and be prepared to carry that responsibility, because this is for me, it's still the biggest non-league club in Leicestershire. The league obviously doesn't suggest that at the minute, but we'll be working on that. But this is a club with a good recent history, and we've got a responsibility to the fans and to ourselves really to deliver. So
season coming, what do you want to be able to do in those months? What's the aim? Obviously you can't go straight up because of everything that's happened.
I don't really like talking about targets, and I certainly don't feel under any pressure. The pressure that I have is what I will put on myself. So the club appreciate what the situation is. They're happy with what we're doing. We're winners. We want to win games of football. If you speak to Jason, you speak to Dave, you speak to Lou, any of the guys here tonight, we've got a couple of other guys helping us out, Wojciech and Jake, that great lads. We just want to win games of football, and if you do that, the rest of it kind of takes care of it itself. We don't expect to win every game, but we plan to be competitive and to play a decent style of football, and then just see where it goes. Just try and enjoy it, put smiles on the faces in the crowd, and we want to enjoy it ourselves and have a bit of fun along the way, because that's what this club's always been. It's been a good a good club to be involved in. There's always been a good spirit in the changing room, and that's what we want.
You'll get a good turnout.
We'll get a good turnout.
I think so. Yeah.
The hype, the interest, and the supporters now are supporting the club in a different way. That they know the importance of what they've got to do, and then at the same token, we've got to give them something to support. So they don't want to come and watch lads not trying, booming the ball in the air every 5 minutes. They want to see lads that are fighting for the cause, playing decent football, and that's. We know what we want to do. We know how we want to do it. We've just got to do it now. The club's in good hands off the pitch and on the pitch. Myself, with my past with the club, it means more than just a manager's job. For me, I love the club, and I think people know that off the pitch. And we've just got to, the fans. I want them to turn up in the numbers, and we'll give them something to enjoy watching. So it is exciting. It's different. It's not where we want to be. As a club, we want to be a step-free club, but we've got an opportunity now to go on another adventure.
There you go. A big thank you to Coalville Town manager Ash Brown for that interview. A big thank you to Andrew Grout of Ellistown, and another big thank you to Jason Weafer, of course, assistant coach at Coalville Town Football Club. So that's the end of today's pre-season show for the 2024-2025 season. Hopefully you can join us again for our first Saturday sports show live, we will bring you all the latest coverage, goal updates, scores, etc., and interviews as well. You can watch along or listen along at nonleagueconnect.live. Stay up to date with us across our social media platforms. We are also called nonleagueconnect.live. Let me get that right. On Twitter, currently known as X, of course, and on YouTube as well. So keep up to date, keep following, keep listening, and hopefully we can hear from you very, very soon as well. But from me, big thank you, and we will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Online and via your IPTV app. For your club, your team, home and away. This is Non-League Connect Matchday Live.